Around the world, there are special places where strange things happen so often that they seem normal. But these aren't just stories. These are real places you can visit where the past feels alive and ghosts might be just around you. Are you brave enough to explore these spooky spots with us? If you're not into creepy adventures, this video might not be for you. But if you love a good scare, you're in the right place. Number 15 is the Stanley Hotel, located only 5 miles from Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado. Well, there are many great reasons to visit the Stanley Hotel. So you probably want to see beautiful natural landscapes, and hopefully, it is, or maybe you would like to spend the night in a large 142-room, 100-year-old hotel. But a heads up, the Stanley Hotel is known for its ghostly encounters. What's more, these spooky sightings got more attention after the movie The Shining was released. Why does that matter? Well, it was this very hotel that gave Stephen King the idea for his spooky story about a haunted hotel. While staying at the Stanley in 1974, he dreamed up the tale that became The Shining. King even ended up filming a TV series here in 1997 because he wasn't a fan of the original movie by Stanley Kubrick. At number 14 is Hoia Baciu Forest in Transylvania, a really weird place. It's famous for being creepy. The trees are bent in strange shapes and it often gets very foggy, making it feel like a creepy movie. A long time ago in 1968, someone even saw a UFO here. Some people believe the forest has a hidden door to another world, and there are many legends of people who went into the forest and didn't return home. One of these legends is a little girl who now haunts the forest. People in a nearby city like to stay on the safe edges of the forest, but going deep inside? That sounds like a scary idea. Number 13 is the Winchester Mystery House, San Jose. Let me tell you about the Winchester Mystery House. This strange mansion was built by Sarah Winchester, who was haunted by a sad past. She lost her husband and child and thought their spirits, along with others harmed by Winchester rifles, haunted her. To escape these ghosts, or maybe to help them find peace, she kept adding to her home, creating a giant maze. The house has doors going nowhere, stairs climbing into the ceiling, and rooms returning. According to stories, the house is haunted by spirits of the dead, making it a scary place to explore. Would you dare walk its mysterious halls? At number 12 is Château de Brissac, located in France, was built in the 11th century by the Counts of Anjou. Even King Louis VIII once visited in 1620. It is known as the Giant of the Loire Valley. This majestic castle rises highest in France with 7 floors, 204 rooms, beautiful portrait galleries, and its own opera house seating 200. But beyond its beauty, the castle holds a horror secret. It is haunted by La Dame Verte, the Green Lady. She was the illegitimate daughter of King Charles VII, tragically murdered by her husband right in the chateau after he discovered her affair in the 15th century. Guests often report seeing her in the tower room of the chapel, wearing a green dress with terrifying holes where her eyes and nose should be. If not seen, she's often heard moaning throughout the castle's vast halls. Today, the chateau serves as a luxury hotel, hosting events like Christmas markets and wine tastings from its vineyards. Those brave enough to stay the night can sleep in rooms adorned with period furniture, perhaps with the Green Lady as their ghostly hostess. At number 11 is Bhangarh Fort, located in the Rajasthan city in India. For those who are fond of spooky stories and ancient myths, Bhangarh Fort in Rajasthan should become the place to visit. This old fort was built in the 17th century and is filled with cool stuff to see, like big walls, markets that are now just ruins, fancy houses called havelis, grand palaces, and lots of temples on its 3 big levels. Why this fort is famous? Because people say that it is the most haunted place in India. For Bhangarh, one of the ghost stories is that a wizard named Singya fell in love with the beautiful princess Ratnavati. When she refused to notice him, Singya resorted to the use of a magic oil to win her over. One of the ghost stories from Bhangarh is about a wizard named Singya who liked the beautiful princess Ratnavati. But when she didn't like him back, he tried to use a magic oil to make her love him. Things didn't go as planned though. When she threw the oil away, it turned into a huge rock that fell and squished Singya. And if anyone attempts to build a roof for the fort, it will collapse. Now Bhangarh Fort is a place people visit during the day to hear these ghost stories and see the old ruins. They say you shouldn't stay there after the sun goes down or you might never leave. So it's a spot only for the bravest adventurers. After exploring these creepy spots, are you ready for even more ghostly tales? Don't go anywhere, we have more haunted spots to show you. But first, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you won't miss any of our ghost stories. Okay, now our next haunted site. Would you dare to come to it at night? That is La Recoleta Cemetery in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Cemeteries can be charming, but also frightful. This place looks fine during the day and it has an entirely different atmosphere at night. There's a famous ghost story about this place. It's about a man named David Aleno who used to take care of the cemetery. He loved it so much that he saved up money to buy a spot for himself there. After he got his own grave ready, he became very sad and ended his life. Now people say that at night, you can hear the sound of his keys jingling as his ghost walks around the cemetery. Creepy. Next is Myrtles Plantation in Street Francisville near New Orleans. It has a big porch and a colorful door. Inside, there is a large room with a bright light hanging from the ceiling. This house is famous for being spooky because 10 people were killed there. The most well-known ghost is Chloe, who wears a green turban. People say she looks closely at visitors when they're sleeping, and she's even shown up in a photo. Another ghost, called Ghost Girl, has been seen looking out of a window. There are more legends about a child who jumps on beds, a soldier, a voodoo priestess, and a ghost of a man who was shot and died on the stairs. However, despite all the merit of the ghosts, Myrtles Plantation is a peaceful bed and breakfast with 12 rooms. One can visit ghost tours during the day or at night, which is a little bit more disturbing. Dare to explore a haunted ship. The RMS Queen Mary in Long Beach, California is full of ghost stories. This big ship used to be a fancy boat for traveling across the ocean. Now it's a hotel that sits still in the water. Back when it sailed, some scary things happened on the ship, like a murder and some accidents where people died. Now people staying on the ship as a hotel say they hear weird noises, see ghosts, and watch things move all by themselves. The engine room is especially creepy, where lots of these strange happenings seem to come from. Number 7 is Yuma Territorial Prison in Yuma, Arizona. It operates to the present day as a museum managed by Arizona State Parks, dedicated to the life, law, and justice of the old Wild West. The old prison in Yuma has a few ghost stories because about 3,000 prisoners were there between 1876 and 1909. There's a story that some prisoners liked the prison so much that they never left, even after they died. One should better not stray too far from their tour group, otherwise they may feel dauntingly cold or hear unexplainable noises, making them wonder if they are alone or are being escorted by one of the infamous bad hombres of the past. Are you brave enough to visit the unknown and dangerous island you shouldn't? This is Poveglia Island in Italy, which is close to Venice. Though it's a romantic city, but it's also home to a lot of ghost stories. You can't just go to Poveglia. You have to get on the boat, and it's hard to find someone to guide you because most boat owners are too scared or think it's too much trouble. A long time ago, Poveglia was a place where people with the bubonic plague were sent to spend their last days. Napoleon Bonaparte once used the island to store weapons. Later, it turned into an insane asylum where it said that doctors did mean experiments on patients. There is also the story of a doctor who died under strange circumstances. People say that the bells of the ancient bell tower can still be heard, although the bell tower was demolished many years ago. Next, let's talk about the Whaley House in San Diego, California. Here are some tips. If you are going to build a house, it is best not to build it in a place where dangerous situations occur. Thomas Whaley discovered this difficulty when he built his home in 1857. He built his house on the site of the first public hangar in San Diego. He built his home right on the spot where San Diego's first public hangings took place. After that, his family had a lot of bad luck. Some say it was because of Yankee Jim Robinson, a man who was hanged there, and might still haunt the place. As the years went by, the Whaley family faced many problems, and some family members even died in strange ways right in that house. Today, the Whaley House is a museum. If you visit and suddenly smell cigar smoke or perfume, it might be a good idea to leave that room quickly, just in case it's Yankee Jim saying hello. Have you ever heard of a place so creepy that even TV ghost hunters have to check it out? That's the Ancient Ram Inn in Gloucestershire, England. This old inn was built way back in 1145. It was first used by priests who were building a nearby church. The inn is located on 2 ley lines, which some people think are like invisible lines with special energy from Stonehenge. The place also has some scary stories about child sacrifices and devil worshipping. People say a woman in the witch's room is one of the most famous ghosts. A long time ago, she was burned for being accused of witchcraft. Visitors also report seeing a ghostly soldier riding his horse through walls, a ghostly high priest sitting on a bed, and hearing a girl screaming. Who would dare to visit this haunting place? Next on our list is the Castle of Good Hope in Cape Town, South Africa. It's full of old stories and spooky tales. This castle, built in the 17th century by the Dutch East India Company, is the oldest building in South Africa. Imagine seeing a ghostly tall man jumping off the castle walls and disappearing into thin air, or hearing the sad cries of the lady in gray as she runs through the hallways. And if that's not haunting enough, the castle bell rings all by itself, and a ghostly black dog might suddenly jump at you and then disappear into nowhere. Today, this castle isn't just about ghosts. It's a treasure trove of history with 3 museums, a memorial, and even a restaurant. You can learn about hidden pasts on a guided tour, witness the traditional key ceremony, and maybe, just maybe, encounter one of its many ghosts. Would you dare to check in Banff Springs Hotel in Alberta, Canada, a place that looks like a Scottish castle and is known as one of the most haunted spots in the country? The hotel has several ghostly residents. One of the most famous is a bride who tragically died on her wedding day. They say she fell down the staircase and broke her neck when her dress caught fire. Now she's often seen dancing in the ballroom, flames still flickering from her dress. Then there's the chilling story of a family murdered in room 873. The room was so haunted that the door was bricked up, but guests still reported seeing the family's ghosts in the hallway. And if you meet Sam, the old bellman who worked here in the 60s and 70s, he might just help you to your room. He wears his old uniform, but don't try to tip him or talk too much. He'll disappear right before your eyes. Today, the Banff Springs Hotel is a luxurious part of the Fairmont hotel chain, still standing majestically as the castle in the Rockies. It remains a popular resort, attracting guests all year round. Some looking for luxury and others, perhaps for a glimpse of its creepy inhabitants. Last on our list is the Sallie House in Atchison, Kansas, and it's known for being scary. The house gets its name from a ghost called Sallie, who people say appeared to the Pickman family. The family lived there and felt like they were being haunted by something very powerful. What makes it even spookier is that there's no record of any little girl named Sallie ever living in that house. Because of this, some ghost hunters think she might be a demon hiding as a little girl. People who once lived in the house were thought to practice witchcraft and worship Satan. They even found a pentagram in the basement. Ryan Bergara, who is famous for exploring haunted places on the YouTube series BuzzFeed Unsolved, said he would never go back to Sallie House. Are you brave enough to explore any of these haunted locations? Or do you have other spooky places to suggest? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you.